What a wonderful way to express and explain your art process. This was narrated by the artist, very original, with a monologue that was almost poetic, perhaps prose. Interesting to watch as she describes her movement she made as the pinpoint light costume she has on makes these striking patterns on her computer. And you can see why she wants to archive these patterns. They are just beautiful, like abstract art. It's as if she painted them or sketched them. And she's just doing normal, everyday things like taking a book off a shelf. Really well done.
I think it's really poetic. I think it's a really interesting narrative, and I think it's a very well spoken and well written narrative on movement and the thought of movement. And I think you encapsulate the different stanzas of what you're saying with the images very well. I think the pacing is really good. I think a lot of the different artistic effects that you chose to do within these visuals matched up really well with not only the tone of the piece, but the way it's narrated as well. I think all around, I think it's a very grounded and well put together piece with like a clear tone, a clear message. And that's really important with these more artistic pieces, is that, you know, they can all be brought back to one thing. And I think you do that really, really well.
I've never seen anything like this. I thought it was a great concept. I thought it was an interesting concept. I never thought about like like I don't know. I never even thought about how much we move and like all of that stuff. I kind of understood that we move a lot, even when we're not moving, we're moving. But like the idea that like of like tracking that and then like making that into art, something that we can see it visually, was very interesting. And the poem that went with it really made it cohesive and presented what we were seeing interestingly and gave context. Great, good context is the way I would say that. And yeah, it was a great, interesting idea.
Clearly written by someone with a just brilliant introspective kind of mind that is able to do so much creatively, and then to be able to just demonstrate those thoughts through this film so succinctly and just with such a calm and collected approach. It's soothing, but it's also kind of gets your mind racing and wandering along with what we're seeing. And the visuals really just sort of suit that vibe well. The animation in particular is just really interesting to look at and follow. Definitely keeps you engaged visually.
I liked the opening where you could see the bed and then like the movements with the lines, in bed. I just such a cool concept of the energy that are to me, the energy you leave behind you and with you and as you're moving and I loved that she said through your memory time is preserved. Super cool line. And another thing I wrote down a few things she said. Without movement, space has no use. Interesting. I mean, obviously, space has use to me for things that are just sitting around, but to actually move shows how we need the space. We need the space to move. We need space. And without space, I cannot move. I love that. And I also like, as I move, I leave traces of where I've been. I thought there was very good sound, and she had nice narration in this. Really perfect, I think, tone of voice for that. And the inflection was really good with the narration. Just very interesting concept, unique. Like I said, I like the effects of the tracing as well, the movements. Um, so cool. And I liked how she showed her, with the suit that she sewed. Really just creative overall that she made that suit that kind of traced her movements. And I don't know what kind of machine she had to use. She sort of showed maybe it's a software. I was very intrigued by that, just kind of curious as to how she did that.
A really creative approach to a film idea. I could definitely see this as an exhibit or a piece within an art gallery. I think it's really interesting what's explored thematically. The visuals were also intriguing, and it felt like a really compelling visual video essay about movement and how we take up time and space. And it was really, really interesting how it was able to do that in a relatively simple way in terms of what was on screen. Really cool.